Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you so very much for watching the first episode of Alfred Carrera podcast, which is the first full English podcast in El Salvador. My name is Alfredo Carrera, and I am an English teacher, and I'm so very happy, very excited, and very honored to be sharing with you guys a little bit of my experience learning this beautiful language. And actually, the idea of making this podcast is because I have read tons of comments on my social media, and actually every time I make some live stream at another platform, you guys come to me and tell me, hey, Alfred, you know what, I wish there were content that I would watch or hear in which, first of all, I would practice my listening skill, and second of all, a type of content in which I would feel related to, like that content is speaking directly to me and giving me the advice that I need to move on in this journey of acquiring this beautiful language. So I have read your comments, and actually not just to my social media, but actually I've been reading comments all over, but not all over the internet, but quite some platforms and forums, in groups on social media. And I have come to realize that we do need, guys, to address the feelings or the emotions or the concerns that we are going to be talking about today in this beautiful podcast. And the thing is that when we are learning a language, we cannot actually escape some feelings that we get. But in today's podcast, I'm going to give you guys not only the reasons why you feel like this, but also solutions. How you guys can get over those feelings that sometimes, those feelings are so dangerous that they have made even some people drop out of their studies. They have made people give up on their journey to learn a second language, in this case, English. So today we're going to speak about them. And I have thought about, first of all, the reasons why this happens. And second of all, how we can get over them and perhaps not avoid the feelings, because that's something we cannot avoid, but giving you guys hope, giving you guys motivation that regardless of how you feel just at the moment that you're watching this podcast, you are going to end up speaking English. Why? Because a good number of people have accomplished that, and you are not going to be the exception. You are going to get it. But first of all, you need to trust in your abilities. And second of all, you need to be patient, because right now, patience is going to be the key to accomplish fluency in English. And let me get started with that. Fluency in English. What is fluency in English? A lot of people might think that fluency in English is pretty much speaking fast. Yeah. Speaking effortlessly. But actually, fluency goes even beyond that. Fluency, because I can speak fast, but I cannot be fluent in the language. Yeah. I can be slow, like I can speak slower than I am speaking right now and still be fluent. Fluency is attitude. Yes, attitude. In a few words, in a nutshell, fluency is attitude. Because sometimes we speak the language not confidently. Yeah, we make those famous filler words like and our attitude comes so low, guys, that we don't sound fluent. But what if we change and we switch from that unconfident attitude to a confident attitude, no matter the mistakes? Because something that you guys gotta keep in mind is that speaking fluent English does not mean not making mistakes. Even native U.S. English speakers, they make grammar mistakes, they make pronunciation mistakes. So being fluent in English does not mean that you're not going to be making any mistake. You're going to be making, I make mistakes myself. And I've been speaking this beautiful language for almost 18 years now, or even a little bit more, like close to the 20 years. And I make mistakes, right? So you are not the exception. If you want to become fluent in English, you need to get rid of the idea that you're not going to be making mistakes and that you're going to speak with perfect grammar, with perfect pronunciation and stuff like that. No. Let's set that fluency is attitude, knowing that you're going to express yourself clearly in a second language, despite the fact that you can make some grammar mistakes or pronunciation mistakes. But let's just get down to business, guys, and let's talk about why is it that I feel that I make no progress in the language. You know, this feeling is very common, and a lot of English learners share this feeling. Yes, I have spoken to my students, and I have spoken to a lot of people, and they share the same feeling. Coach, I feel like I make no progress. I feel stuck. I feel that I understand what you're saying, and I understand when someone speaks English to me, but I cannot make words come out of my mouth. Like when it comes to me pressing my ideas, my feelings in the language, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to put the ideas in order. Yes. I feel stuck. I feel down. I feel like I was not meant for learning the language, or maybe English hates me, they say. First of all, guys, that's not the case. English does not hate you. And the fact that right now you're feeling stuck does not mean that you were not meant for speaking the language, okay? Everyone was born with the sole capacity to acquire and accomplish whatever you put your mind to. Yeah? Whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish it. You're not going to get it overnight. That's something that you need to understand. You're not going to get it overnight. It does not happen that you start learning English today and tomorrow you're gonna be a fluent English speaker. It's not gonna happen like that. So sometimes when we get those feelings, we tend to let them. We tend to let those feelings grow, and in the end, what happens is that we drop out of our classes or we do not continue with the process, and we feel like a failure. Yes, we do feel like failure. I don't want anybody here to feel like that. What I want to give you guys today is hope. Yeah, maybe you're feeling like that, and it's okay. Yeah, I went through that. I felt like that myself when I first started learning English, but maybe not when I first started. But at some point, at some point in my journey, I did feel like I was not making any progress at all. Like I was stuck at a certain point in which I couldn't go backwards, but of course I couldn't go forwards. I couldn't move forwards. Like I was seeing my classmates speaking English very happily, smiling and using new words, using new vocabulary, and I was like, damn, I cannot speak like that. Damn, my pronunciation is just the worst. And I started to bring myself down up to the point that I wanted to drop out of the college, drop out of the major. My major is licenciatura en idioma inglés, and at some point I did reach, that level of unconfidence. I don't know if that word exists in English, but I just made it up, right? So it was like, man, maybe I was not made for speaking English. Maybe my destiny is not English. I said that to myself, guys. But here I am. Yeah, here I am. And right after I graduated from college, guys, I started to use English as my main tool for living. Yeah, either teaching the language or working for call centers. But English has been the main tool that gave me, guys, the opportunity to grow professionally. So if I was able to get over those feelings, so are you guys. All right, let me just check that my mic is working. Yes, it's working. Okay, cool. Now, what are the reasons, coach? Because you have spoken a lot, but still I don't get the reasons why I feel like this. Number one, unrealistic expectations. And I want you to hear these clearly. Unrealistic expectations. When we start studying English, whether you study at a course, whether you study on your own, yeah, we set those expectations that probably we're gonna learn English maybe in 3 months, maybe in 6 months. And I know, I understand. There are some courses, there are some academies making this promise that you're gonna become fluent in English just in 3 months. Yeah, you're gonna speak gringo style just in 3 months with my secret methodology because I'm an expert and I know what you need to do. Others don't know, but I know, and I could become fluent English speaker in 3 months. So can you? And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to learn English in 3 months, but you need to dedicate at least 24 hours every day with no sleep, with no friends time, with no family time, with no eating, yeah, no entertainment. Just fix your eyes on a computer, fix your eyes on a cell phone, fix your eyes on a book, and begin practicing the English at least 24 hours for 3 months straight. Yeah, 3 months in a row. That's the way how you can become fluent in English in 3 months. No sleep, no eating, no friends, no family, no entertainment, no rest at all. Can you do that? Can you spend 3 months straight studying and practicing English? I bet you can't. I bet you I cannot. So I bet you guys also can't. So that is unrealistic because in reality you need to sleep, you need to rest, you need to entertain yourself, you need to detox from hard work. Yes? Because sometimes when you get obsessed with learning English fast, you intoxicate your mind, you intoxicate your brain, and you need to detox from that. Yeah. When you want to go faster, that's when you go the slowest. Don't rush. Don't rush. And don't believe when someone comes up to you and tells you that you're going to learn English in 3 months. It's not going to happen. But the fact of believing that you can accomplish that in a short period of time creates anxiety in you and that high expectation because you see someone else speaking English very fluently, and you say, "Oh, he speaks English fluently. He said that he learned English in 3 months. Why can't I?" Because you are not the same. You're not the same. Your context of life is not the same as that other human being. And we're gonna reach another reason why we do this, guys. But first of all, be very real with your capacities. Be very real with your responsibilities. Most of us here are adults. Yeah, most of us. You got family. You're responsible for bringing home the bacon. Yeah, you're responsible. If you're not the responsible for bringing home the bacon, then you're responsible for your studies. Maybe you're in college. Maybe you're in high school and you got other responsibilities. You cannot dedicate 100% of your time to learning English. Yeah. You need to split your time for family, for friends, for sleeping, for eating, for having fun, guys. It's necessary. So don't believe that. Don't believe that you can get it in 3 months. You can get some progress, yes, but you cannot speak gringo style in 3 months, especially if you live in a Spanish speaking country. Yeah, because every day we are surrounded by people speaking Spanish that our brain cannot make a knowledge in English just by listening to Spanish every day. So don't believe that. Sometimes we do believe that learning English is a fast process, it's an effortless process, but it's quite the opposite. Quite the opposite because you need time and a lot of time. Yeah, for you to master the English skills, you need time, and you're not gonna have the same time as someone else. Yeah, maybe somebody else was given the capacity for learning fast in one shot. Maybe you're not. Maybe you need to be explained 2 times. You need to be explained 3 times or as many times as necessary. But that doesn't make you the worst person. That doesn't make you a slow person. It just makes you unique. So first of all, guys, embrace your uniqueness. Embrace that you are not like someone else. You are just the only one you. Yeah, there's no one exactly as you are. There's no one exactly. There is no one that thinks exactly the way you think. Yeah. So just embrace, reality, embrace the process as it is, and embrace your capacity. Of course, you can enhance your capacities, but that takes time, effort, patience, which is very important. Yeah, is very important to grow some patience within yourself. Okay, that is going to happen when you establish that you're not going to learn English in a short period of time, and you're going to take whatever it needs you to take, then you get rid of the anxiety. I will tell you why. When I first started to learn English back in 2005, it was in the University of El Salvador. I remember that my father enrolled me into this weekend course, only Saturday. But they told me since the very beginning, Alfred, if you want to finish this course, you're going to spend at least 2.5 years studying every Saturday. Are you willing to? And I was like, yes, I'm willing to. So every time I was in classes, I didn't have the necessity to rush the process. Like I need to be speaking English in 10 months because that's what the program takes. No, I wasn't in a rush. My learning was solid because I deleted, the part of that I limited the learning to an amount of time. I was not like I need to learn in 1 year, I need to learn in 3 months, I need to learn in 6 months. No, I was not like that. I was just focused on learning. I didn't focus on how long it was gonna take, but I was just focused on learning. That's why my basic knowledge in English was very solid. Yeah. Even my teacher was not rushing me like, Alfred, by the next Saturday or by the next month, you need to speak more than what you're speaking. No, he was not rushing me like that. He was just giving me the steps, the tips. He was teaching me, right, properly, accurately, and I was just building my knowledge very solid. And my best advice right now, of course, the high expectations are very toxic. Be aware that you're not as somebody else, that you're not going to take the time that someone else is telling you that you need to take. No, you're going to take whatever you need to take. So eliminate the unrealistic expectations, face reality. Okay, face reality. That's the first reason. Reason number two is, what I was telling you a little while ago, the unhealthy comparisons, because we tend to do that. I did it myself when I was learning the language. I used to compare myself to fluent English speakers, even to American, Native American English speakers, guys. Don't ever do that. Because of course I think it's inevitable to get these feelings. It's inevitable. But when you become aware that you're thinking like that, when you become aware that you're comparing yourself to another person, say to yourself, hey, I should stop doing that because this is not healthy for me, right? So you don't know the struggle somebody else had to go through to get that fluency. Yeah. You don't know if people laughed at that person's English when they first began to study English or when they first began to learn the language. You don't know how long it has taken to them or for them to speak it like that, as fluent as they speak. So don't compare, especially if you're just beginning. Because if you're just in your first 3 months of the learning process, well, there's a lot of way to go. There's a lot of steps to take. So don't compare to fluent English speakers just yet. And actually don't compare yourself at all. It's unhealthy. It's toxic. Yeah. Because when you do that, guys, you know that you bring yourself down. I know I have said this expression a lot of times, guys, but it becomes really necessary. You are unique. You don't have the same mental or cognitive capacities that another person has. Yeah, they are just only yours. God decided to give you, if you believe in God, God decided to give you those capacities. Yes? You cannot change them. You cannot trade your capacities for others. You can enhance them though. You can acquire new ones. But the born capacities that you keep, they're just yours. Right? So don't compare to others. Instead of that, have those people as a reference of how you want to speak the language. Have them as your inspiration. Have them as your motivation. Hey, I do want to speak like that person. So I'm gonna make great effort. I'm gonna enjoy the process. And even when I make mistakes, I'm going to enjoy it and I'm gonna learn from it. So the best recommendation right now is don't compare to yourself to another person. Don't, because when you do that, you know what happens? Because of course there are going to be people above your English level, but there's also going to be people below your English level. And you know what's the funny part is that the people below you, they admire you. Yeah, they say, hey, I do want to speak like that person. But you don't focus on that. You don't even know that you're a source of inspiration and motivation for others. Yeah. Even if you say that your English is broken, that you're not fluent, there's people that don't know English at all, that they admire you, they look up to you, they say that they want to speak English as you do. If you compare yourself to others, also don't look only the ones above you, look the ones below you. Yeah. and take them also as inspiration. Yeah, because those people admire you, those people look up to you, so you have the responsibility to show the ones below you that they can also accomplish what you have accomplished. Have you seen that perspective, guys? Yeah, and believe me, it's true. There's people that admire you, even if you feel like your English is not good enough. There's people that admire you, guys. So that's the reason number two, that we compare ourselves to others. We know that it's unhealthy. We know that it's toxic. We know that undermines your self-esteem, guys, and it's not good. So instead of comparing, just have them as a source of inspiration, source of motivation, and a reference of how you want to be speaking the language. Okay. So let's go now to the reason and number three. And everything is just kind of like related, because the first thing is the unrealistic expectations. Because when you see others speaking fluently and they claim that they learned it in just 3 months, you compare yourself to them. Comparing yourself to them, the only thing that does is to undermine your self-esteem, and you believe that your capacities are not good enough. That probably you will never learn the language. And when you do that, you speak to yourself in a negative manner. You see, that's the reason number three, that you have that negative self-talk, and you start saying to yourself, "Oh, come on, man! Why others can and you can't? You're a piece of what?" And you start, even insulting yourself, and that only creates more anxiety, more desperation, more impatience, which is not good, not even for your health, right? And of course, it's not going to be good for your English learning process. So when you find yourself speaking to yourself negatively, saying only bad things, and even insulting yourself, become aware of that and change that immediately. You know what you should do? Celebrate progress. Maybe you learned just one word, only one tiny little word, maybe one preposition of 2 letters. Celebrate it because it's progress. That's something that you didn't know yesterday, and now you know it. When you become aware that you are speaking to yourself negatively, think back when you first started learning English, that you didn't know a word, and make that part of your motivation. I don't know how long ago you didn't know any English. I don't know how long ago you wish to know, or you wish to speak English just as you are speaking it right now. Don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. Don't be hard on yourself. You know that you're in the right path, right? Sometimes it's not going to be exactly as you thought it was going to be, but you are in the right path. Be patient. Be easy on yourself. It's going to happen because it happens to me. Sometimes I find myself speaking negatively to myself, and sometimes even insulting myself. But when I become aware of that, I apologize to myself. I ask myself to forgive myself, and I start changing those negative thoughts into praising. And I say, like, Alfred, 10 months ago you were not like you are right now. You're better. You have improved. Yeah. So I need you guys to do the same, because if you continuously speak to yourself negatively, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. You are prophetizing, yeah, your future. So don't do that, guys. Everything that you say to yourself must be positive. Yeah, guys, I know. Maybe sometimes you feel there's no progress, but still speak to yourself positive and say, Alfred, I congratulate you because 10 months ago, 3 months ago, even 1 month ago, you didn't know the English that you know now. You didn't speak English the way you speak now. Be using yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Congratulate you. Celebrate even your tiniest progress. One word that you learn in 1 week is progress. 1 week ago, you didn't know the word. Now you know it. Now it's time to continue for another milestone. Okay? So that's the reason number three, the negative self-talk. When you negatively talk to yourself, you bring your self-esteem down. And believe it or not, self-esteem has a lot to do with your English learning process. It has a lot to do because When your self-esteem is on good conditions, then you go to classes motivated. Even if you make mistakes, you know that your capacities are good enough to continue learning the language. But when your self esteem is down, your motivation's down. You go to classes, but maybe obligated. You don't participate. And if you participate, you don't see any beneficial on your participation. Maybe you're doing the things good, you're doing the things well, you're doing the things correctly, but you don't see them because your self-esteem is low. I need you to start working on your self-esteem. Yeah. I know it's very fragile. I know. I've been through that. Like you don't need motivation to have your self-esteem down, to have your self-esteem low, sorry. You don't need motivation for that. You all the way around, you need motivation to lift it up. But that's your responsibility. You are accountable for your own well-being, my friend. And everything is in your mind. Like I told you, there are people admiring you because of your English. But inside your head, you're saying, my English is the worst. My English sucks, right? And there's people below you, like I'm talking about levels, English levels, right? There's people below your English level saying, I want to speak like that man. Yeah. So, self-esteem is essential and a good self-esteem. Not too high, not too low. Something at the right level. Watch your self-esteem. And if you're feeling like that, how can I lift my self-esteem up, coach? You know what? Speak to others. Form a community. Yeah. Form a community with people with really high English skills and with people with really low English skills. Why? Because you're gonna help those below and you're gonna learn from those up. And you're gonna see that the feelings that you have, you share them with someone else. The people that are above you, they have those feelings in the past. The people that are below you, they have those feelings as well, and even greater than yours, because at least you know something. But the people below you, they don't know nothing at all. So get out of your bubble. Yeah, get out of your own head. Speak to others. Teach others what you know. Form communities. Form bonds, connections with other English learners. Now with technology, you have that chance to speak with people from around the world, from people from the other side of the charco, as we say in Spanish, right? You can speak with people in India, you can speak with people in Vietnam, you can speak with people in China, in Egypt, in Spain, and you can even speak with native speakers in the United States and Canada. But I need you to get out of that bubble, yes? Because when you're there, that's only you, and you believe that you are the only one with those feelings, and there are tons of people with the same in the same situation as you are. So just do that. You need to open your mind, guys. Yeah. English requires interaction. But when you interact to yourself and you speak to yourself negatively, damn, that's very toxic and dangerous to you. So try to get out of your comfort zone, speak to others, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. At the end of the day, like I told you, fluency is not about speaking fast, and fluency is not about not making mistakes. Fluency is an attitude. That attitude that lets you express your ideas clearly and have communications with another person in the second language. And the last reason why you don't see progress is because you see English as a dead end. You believe that English is a place, or fluency in English, sorry, it's a place that you need to get, but there's nothing beyond that goal. I'm still learning English. I began to learn English around, well, it was in 2005, close to the 20 years, close to 20 years ago, guys. And I'm still learning. After 20 years, I can say that I'm still learning. I can say that I'm an English student. 20 years after I first started my English journey, guys. So if you've been just 6 months, do not believe that in the next 6 months you're going to finish. No, it's not a dead end. It's not a dead end. It continues. It goes beyond that, especially because English is evolving over the years. If you see American movies and you hear the actors, they speak differently to how the actors speak nowadays, and in the most recent movies. So English is not a dead end. Yeah, there's gonna be a point in which probably you're gonna reach fluency. You're gonna reach a point in which you're not gonna be thinking too much to say the things, but still you're gonna be learning even more. It's a never-ending process. Embrace that feeling. Embrace that thought. Yeah. And that's how you're going to be seeing more progress. Yeah. So now, guys, these are the reasons why you feel like that. And of course, I have also given you guys how you can get over those feelings. Now, those feelings are going to come. You're not going to escape them. They are inevitable. However, now you have the tools to, well, not to fight. I wouldn't say to fight them because there's no point in fighting, in fighting those feelings. Let them be. But once you become aware that you have them, the way they came into your mind, that's the way they're gonna get out of your mind. Relax, relax. You're not in a competition with anybody else. You're not competing with me to see who speaks better English than who. No, you're in a competition with yourself to become better than you are today. But for you to become better than you are today, you have to embrace who you are right now and celebrate and accept. Because if you don't accept who you are or how you speak right now, then there's not going to be a space for more. Yeah, because you're not going to like what you're going to see, how you're going to see yourself in the future. So, my friends, my dear friends, English is a beautiful language. Yet, it's not easy to acquire. Yet, it requires time, effort, patience. But it's possible to become a fluent English speaker regardless. The fact that you live in a non-English speaking country. I've been living in El Salvador my whole life. I learned English here. Never been in the States. The farthest country I have gone to is Guatemala. And here I am. English is my main working tool for living. This is how I made my living out of English. And if I was able to get all this from English, so are you. So guys, I do appreciate if you reach this point in this podcast, I do appreciate your watching the whole podcast, and I hope that this helps you not only to practice your listening, but to face or to go back to your classes with more motivation, knowing that eventually you're gonna end up speaking fluent English. So I do appreciate. Remember to, if you are watching this on YouTube, remember to subscribe, to like, to comment down there below. They say to activate the notifications bell. So go ahead and do it. And if you are on Spotify, well, just share this podcast with somebody else. I'll be trying to post, regularly here. And please, please, please support me on this new project that I have. And hopefully in the near future, guys, I'm going to be bringing guests, they give you more tips that you don't listen only to me, but you listen to others as well. And we form this beautiful community of English learners so that we can support each other. I do appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time and bye bye, everybody. Descarga la guía de consejos versión PDF en la descripción de este video.